Okay, so first question was adding a contact. So at the top of the screen, there is a plus sign. Click on the plus sign, go down to contact. Plus means add, contact means contact. So you're adding a contact. And this is the blank CRM screen for a brand new contact to be entered. Rex, do you have a business card on your desk, somebody you'd like to get entered?
Sure.
So I just added a question while he's looking for a business card, and that is, how do you search for a contact?
Right next to the plus button is a magnifying glass, and that stands for search. So if you click on that, you can type in anything. You can type in the person's last name, you can type in their phone number, you can type in their email address, you can even type in something that you wrote in the notes, and it'll recall who that was that you wrote that on.
Cool, thank you.
So we can see Rex is entering the data here in each of the fields. So you start by clicking on the first name. Rex is doing it the hard way by clicking the green check mark. You can do it a little faster by hitting the tab key after you've entered new information. It'll automatically save that field and move you right on to the next field. Okay,
I didn't know that. Thank you.
Sure. So he's going to click on enter the address or phone number. And he's going to type the phone number, but then he's going to hit the tab key, and that's going to very quickly move him on to the next record after saving that one.
Etc.
Yep. So that's how you enter a new record. Now, what's very important for your team is that you all keep your own clients marked for who's managing that client. So over on the right-hand side where it says Account Insight, there's a green title bar at the top says Account Insight. Do you see that, Rex?
Yes.
Okay. So in that box, that is where all the information about this client is: when they first got entered into the system, who created them, and then down below, you have status. So if you guys have a sales pipeline, like a funnel process that you're using, so maybe they start off as a cold lead, and then they work up to a warm lead, and then they're a hot lead, and then they've received their proposal, and then, you know, they quoting process, whatever your sales process is, you can track that in the status by clicking where it says none, and it's going to give you a drop-down menu of all the different statuses that the company has set. Are there any questions on the status levels of the sales funnel? Click on the none. Now you can drop that box down, and those are your choices right now. And if you want to add a new choice, that's when you hit the plus button.
Got it.
And hit the green check to save it. So this person is now marked as a service provider as their status. And then next you have the account manager. So let's click on the none by account manager. Guys, this is the most important piece. This is how you tag this person as belonging to you. You are their account manager. So go ahead and assign that, hit the green check mark. And now that is tagged as belonging to Rex. The next field is the follow-up time. This is to remind you when you've set an appointment to speak with them next, or if you want to remind yourself to make another call. So you just click on the time, the date, whatever you want, and then click off of that, and it automatically saves. Now Rex has a reminder to let him know on January 22nd at 2 o'clock. Rex can also click the little calendar button there. I don't know if we've integrated your calendar yet. Yes, we have. So what this is doing is it's letting Rex know on the right-hand side what his free and busy schedule is in the green and the red. And he's able to set an appointment with this client. He can even send a calendar invitation to them by clicking Invite Boulder SEO Marketing, and that will send an email to them saying, Rex is inviting you to this event. And it'll put it on both their calendars. So we can schedule that or we can close it. So that has been synchronized to Rex's Google Calendar. All right, now, Jill had some questions about tags. So
no, I just want to tell everybody that we're going to be doing some drip campaigns based on tags. So we will send you what tags there are and what they mean. So please make sure to tag people appropriately, because if they're not tagged, they will not get emails.
Yes.
Unless you send them individually.
One
Okay.
thing back to the calendar, can you send the invitation directly from the calendar, or do you need to, how do you do that?
Rex, can you go ahead and click on the calendar button again, please?
Sure.
So from this screen, if you want to invite them to the event, you would click this button and it would send them the calendar invitation. What is your question?
That's good. Exactly what you answered it precisely. Thank you.
Okay, so go ahead and close that. All right, any other questions at this point? So if you're entering a new record, this is how you enter a new record, what we've just gone over. And as I said, it's very important to set the account manager because that's going to put it in your pipeline. And you'll notice right below Rex's mouse, there's a little 3. There's a flag with a 3 on it. Let's click on that. That's going to update the information down below with all the activity that's just happened in the last few minutes. And we can see there at the very bottom, 3 minutes ago, Rex wrote a note that the status was changed to a service provider. We can also see that Rex changed the account manager to Rex. And we can also see the calendar appointment that he set right after that 1 minute ago. And now Rex is going to enter in his own personal note, which is also going to be recorded in the timeline here. So anyone who looks at this record is going to see who's been working on this client and what's happened with the client. It's also great if you're working with 200 different prospects like I am. I can't remember all their spouses' names and the name of their dog and where they went on vacation. But when
Jill, Fargo, I don't do them.
And if I'm about to call that person, I'll just call up this record and I can see all that information.
And by the way, guys, that is incredibly valuable as you get older.
Oh, jeepers.
Carl, that was for you, bud.
No, I got it right down here. I'll remember.
So another question that comes up very often is what about if somebody has their office phone number and then they have a cell phone number? So up at the top where it says other contact information, we can drop this list down and we can put in a cell phone, a fax number, a phone number, and we can put as many as we want. So after we've entered cell phone number 1, we can hit plus, do cell phone number 2, hit plus, and we'll have all the information right there. All right, so we've got something entered into Rex's sales pipeline, but how do we view his sales pipeline? What is the process when you come into work every morning? The very first thing you should do after logging in is click on your name in the top right-hand corner and then go to Sales Pipeline. This is your personal pipeline. This is every account that you are currently working on, and you can sort all of this information by clicking the title. So if I clicked company, it would sort the list by company name. Rex only has 1 item in his list, so there's nothing to sort. You can see the person's name, the company name, and the confidence level of closing this deal, which is set by you. You can also see the value of the deal, so what you think this deal will close for. And it will also calculate your commission. And it will tell you the last time you contacted this person and your next call date, which goes back to that calendar that we just set. You also have the estimated close date as set by you and the date you created the record. So this is where you would go.
If it's closed, can you put in the actual date?
Yeah, that'll be in your notes, and then you can remove it off of your pipeline by changing the status in the corner.
And the call date, if I click under next call date, it will list all the calls for that day?
Yes, it'll put all, and it color codes them as well. So if it's somebody to be called in the future, it's blue. If it's past due, it's red. And if you click on next call date, it'll sort all of the ones to call today to the top.
Okay.
So you can literally
Terrific.
just call down the list. Try to make it easy.
And so the sales pipeline only shows leads. You can't sort anything else, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Now, if you want to send an email out to one of these people, I don't know what your follow-up strategy is. If you make an initial call and then you send an email right after the call, that's what most people do. I believe Rex and Jill are going to be creating some standard templates for after an initial phone call it just
But they
a little bit more.
But show them if they wanted to send their own email. Just
Well,
have it.
we're gonna do both. It's the same
Okay.
thing. So, but is that true, Jill? You're gonna have like a
Yeah.
standard email template that says thanks for chatting today on the phone?
I'm going to have a couple different templates, but then you guys have room to do whatever you need or want.
Right. Yeah, there will be some standard ones that Jill creates, but then you can create your own as well as far as templates.
Correct.
So let's go ahead and click on this record, this person that we want to contact. Okay. And then over at the top of the screen, it says new email. So while we're still on this record, we've made the phone call, we're still talking to the guy, we can go up to the top where it says load email template none, and we can pick a template out of that list. Let's just pick anything there.
So pick email 1.
And just wait a second, and you'll see everything fill in for you automatically. There's your template. So go ahead and click on email 1. Let's set it back to none. All right, so if we want to send a custom email that we're just going to write as we go, we can go ahead and the to address, I don't think you put an email in, so it's not pulling one up. But we'll go ahead down to subject, put in a subject. And then you put in your email message, just like you would on any other email program. And you've got all your controls at the top if you want to center the text or if you want to make it bold, you've got all that. And then down below in the advanced options, we have the ability for you to add your own email signature that'll be attached to every email that you write. And you can also attach files down below where it says select file. So that's how you send emails. And when you do this, a copy of whatever you write in that email is going to be in that workflow timeline as well. So you always can remember what you said to who. And when they reply to you, their reply email will go into that workflow timeline. So you'll be able to have everything that happened with that one prospect all in the same screen. You don't have to open up different programs to figure out who said what and when they said it and what the agreement was. It's all going to be in one place.
So it does conversations like Gmail.
Yes.
That's a big advantage over Salesforce, I think.
I have not personally used Salesforce. What's the difference that you're noticing?
Oh, you got to jump to different pages for all that. It's much more difficult to use.
Okay. Yeah, we're kind of a lighter version for smaller businesses. I think that Salesforce and Infusionsoft are more enterprise. They were written for enterprise. I know they're kind of getting into the smaller market, but there's a lot of bells and whistles, a lot of things to learn, and we just really try to keep this simple.
I think it's better.
Thank you. All right, so we have covered adding a contact, some of the basics of communication, the sales pipeline, basic CRM. So the last thing is uploading information. So we're going to start with uploading from Google. If you were to go to your Gmail account, Rex, where it says Gmail, click on that, then go to contacts.
What happens
there
if
it
you
is.
just
It's at the top of the screen by the picture of the person. Yep, export. So you always want to export as a CSV file, and that's the
Can I really do 5,800 of them?
Sure.
or you could just do the ones that you click off that you wanted?
Yep, you can do that as well. So we're not going to actually do this, but when you hit export, you would get a CSV file downloaded to your computer. And we'll go back to AllProWebTools. So if you want to import your contacts, you go to settings on the left, and then import export. And on this screen at the top left corner says import contacts. We'll click on that. And then you have a few options. When you import an entire list of people, sometimes you want them automatically to be tagged when you import them. So you can select the tag that you want them to be set to when you import by dropping that list down. Let's go ahead and pick one. We're not going to actually upload anything. But that's optional. You don't have to do that. Now, the second one is to choose the account manager. So in Tim's case, if he's going to be uploading all of his own personal contacts from Gmail, he's probably going to want to automatically assign them to his own ownership. So
And I would also say you may want to do a tag that says Tim's phone.
And then on step 3, choosing a source, if they want to track where these leads came from, like if it was a phone book or internet or some other place, and you can add more to this list as well. Now the last
Add
step,
more, Dave.
I'll show you that in a moment.
Okay.
So the last step is to choose the file that you're going to upload. So you'd click that choose file button. You would pick the CSV file that you want to upload, and then you would click preview. When you click preview, it's going to show you a snippet of what you're trying to upload, and it's going to show you all the columns. And it's going to try to guess, is this the person's first name? Is this the person's last name? Is this the person's address? Is this the person's phone number? So you'll have an opportunity to look and make sure that all your columns are lining up properly, and you can change them around. Once you're done, you hit the upload button, and with 5,000 records, it probably will take a bit of time, 15 minutes maybe. So just set it and go get some dinner and come back, and your contact should be loaded.
And I think I'm correct in saying that if I import all my contacts into AllProWebTools, they don't sync if I put a contact someplace else, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Now, another really huge caution here. I don't think I've seen one export system from Google or Yahoo or QuickBooks or any other system. I've never seen one that when you hit export, it actually exports your data correctly. So I highly recommend opening up the CSV file in Excel and just taking a visual look at the data. There should be a single column for the person's first name, and there should be the first name all the way down. What you'll see is it'll go first name, first name, first name, and then you'll see it shift over and it'll start putting the first name in the last name column. That's not AllProWebTools doing that. That is when you exported your data from Google. So if you import it that way, that's how it's going to come into AllProWebTools, and all your data is going to be messed up. So highly recommend opening in Excel to just look at the data to make sure it is correct.
Let's say that Tim wants to look and see if somebody's in the system that one of the other salespeople isn't talking to them.
Yep.
How do we figure that out as well? So if you could do both of those.
Both questions are answered with the same thing. Go up to the top where it says magnifying, where the magnifying glass is by the plus sign. So Rex, can you type in the last name of somebody who you know is in this system? There you go. So you can click on that. It's going to bring you to their record. And we can see who this is assigned to right now. In the lower right-hand corner, it says Account Manager Rex. We can also tell when the last time Rex took any activity on this account, where it says Rex wrote a note 15 minutes ago. So I'd say he's fairly active with this person. But if he wasn't, and I wanted to reassign this contact to someone else, maybe Rex has left the company and somebody else is filling in, I can go to where it says Account Manager Rex. I can click on that name. And I can pull that drop down. I can just assign it to somebody else. Go ahead and give that to Jill for a moment, Rex. And click the green button. Okay. Now, if you can click the refresh button on the browser. And we'll look down below where the workflow timeline is. Right there, 1 minute ago, we can see that the account manager was changed from Rex to Jill. And we can see when who changed it. It was Rex that did that. Rex wrote the note. So now if Rex wants to change it back to himself, he can go click on Jill and put it back.
But so that you guys know, since we are going to be starting in the next 2 weeks, advertising and handing out leads, this is how they're going to be done, is through this system.
If I look at my tasks, how can I make completed ones go away or something?
Yep, sure. Let's go ahead and go to your tasks. So at the top, we can see a little orange circle. That's letting Rex know that he's got some tasks that have not been completed yet. So we can click one of those, or we can click See All Tasks at the bottom. And this is his entire task list. This is all the things that he needs to get done. So which one would you like to get rid of, Rex?
Pick up check at office.
Okay, so let's open that one up. Now there's a feature in the tasking system. If Rex sends a task to someone else, and then they complete it. It comes back to Rex, so he can verify that it was completed. Once he verifies that it's completed, it drops off the list, and you don't have to look at it anymore. So it's a verification. It's to make sure that it actually was completed. It's a chance, so if it wasn't completed, you can send it back to that person and say, hey, you didn't do your job, try it again.
And if I want to look at my completed tasks, how do I do that?
Up at the top, create task, my tasks, drop that list down. Completed.
Got it.
You can also search for the task in the search box by any word you can remember that was in the task.
Carl, is this helpful?
Yes, tremendously. Yes, and so far it makes sense, and I'm glad we can go back and review it.
So if I wanted to put the video that we are doing now in the system, is there a place where I can put the video that everybody can watch it?
You could, but it probably wouldn't be the most efficient use of space because the video is going to be pretty large. I would recommend putting it on like a YouTube or a Vimeo, and you can usually lock the channel or hide it so it's not visible to the public. But if you don't mind, I'll post it on my YouTube channel, and you can link to that if you want. Doesn't matter to me.
No, that's okay. We can do it that. I just was curious as to what people, is there a place though to put documents and things?
Absolutely.
If there are documents?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So there's actually two ways to do this. If you want to record documents per record, so if you're getting contracts signed by your clients and you want to record those contracts with the CRM record, Rex, can you go look up your contact again? So we'll scroll down on the right-hand side a little bit. Right there. You have Dropbox and Google Drive. You can integrate AllProWebTools with Dropbox and or Google Drive, and you can drag your signed contracts right into that folder right from this screen, and you can even open them and view them and so forth. You can also share these folders with your client if you want. You don't have to, but you can. There's also a single repository for information. This would not go per client. This would just be for the whole company. So if you have standard documents that like proposal forms or something that everybody needs access to, you scroll up to the top and go to Website, Manage Images and Files. Left-hand side, menu bar, Website, Manage Images and Files. So this is your cloud storage. You can create folders. You can put files into the folders, create whatever kind of organizational structure you like.
Is there size limitations?
No, there is not.
Okay.
Any other
So,
questions?
for example, we could put our generic contracts in there, and then Carl could fill out what he needs to fill out, and then just so we don't have to be involved until it's signed.
Yep. And the beauty of that is if you find a modification in your contract, you want to update it to the new version for 2019, you can just delete the version out of here, upload the new version, and then next time he goes to download it, it'll be the latest version.
Okay.
Terrific.
And when we import contacts, you mentioned that sometimes they don't export the contacts correctly when we export them from other things.
Yes.
If that's the case, if contacts get imported incorrectly, is there a way to reverse that and basically or fix it?
It's not the easiest process because you've uploaded a bunch of things. So typically you would contact us through support, and we would have to do that manually for you. So it's better to announce a prevention is worth a pound to cure. It's better to look at that file before you upload it.
Cool.
But for example, if 15 last names and first names got switched around, they could still be found on search, right?
Absolutely, and then you can manually adjust them. Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. So I want to show you how the support system works. If you go over and click on support in the top corner, there are videos here that relate specifically to the page that you're on. So if you feel like you need a quick refresher on the screen that you're on, these videos are about 4 minutes long, and they will show you exactly how to use the page that you're on at that moment. So I highly recommend that for everybody for the training. The other option,
what do we do, Dave? Like I was trying to find the answer to a question the other day and couldn't. What do we do then? Just write you?
first step is Google it. You'd be amazed how much information is on the internet about AllProWebTools. First thing to do is Google it. You'll probably find forum posts. You'll probably find YouTube videos. You'll even find blogs on our website answering the question that you have. That is the first thing.
I was going to say, everything that I have done and things that I've asked Dave for that he's pointed me to, I've gone to the YouTube channel for AllProWebTools and just typed in what I'm looking for, and I've found several with different options, so I can watch that.
Yep, plenty of training material there. Now, the next step after that is to click Live Support Options, right where Rex's mouse is. And right here on this screen, you can access our public forum with the login button at the top, and you can ask your question publicly, and we will typically respond to that on weekends, holidays, you know, within a few hours. So you can always get a hold of us. Down below,
where's that?
Right there, right where you are. The green button says
Where it says login.
Got it.
That'll take you to our public forum where everybody's helping each other and there's questions and answers. Now down below that are the premium support options. You can chat with us from 9 to 5 Central Time, and you can also start a screen share just like this by clicking the Start a Screen Share button. You'll be talking to somebody from AllProWebTools immediately, and they will see your screen and answer your questions. Now right above that, there's a green box that says time remaining 30 minutes. Do you see that, Rex?
Yep.
So we give you 30 minutes every single month for your premium support. And that's typically enough to get, you know, 2 or 3 questions answered each month. And it resets on the first of the month every month, so you get an additional 30 minutes every single month. If you use up that time, you can click the plus sign and you can purchase additional time if you don't want to wait until the first of the month. So that's how you get help.
And if you don't use it in a previous month, does it roll over?
Nope, no rollover. All right, you ready to learn how to download from LinkedIn?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead and log into your LinkedIn account. I guess it's called My Network. Is that it?
I don't know.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work.
Yeah, it's my network.
Your connections, see all on the left-hand side. Yeah. There you go. Oh, it's above that. It says Manage Synced and Imported Contacts. Nice and light gray so you can't see it. All right, Export Contacts right there on the bottom. So pick and choose the data files. Oh, the works, all of the individual files plus more. And then down below, partners and services subscriptions, keep scrolling down. Oh, request archive, blue button in the middle. So that'll download it in 24 hours. I guess they'll send you a link or something. Hopefully that's a CSV file. I would definitely open it in Excel, make sure it's everything you need, and then import that data as we did before. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not a CSV file?
If it's not a CSV file, it may be like an Excel file, and then you can open it in Excel, and then when you go to File, Save As, you just save it as a CSV, and you're good to go.
And if it's not that, if it's a Word file, if it's something else, what do we do?
Shouldn't be a Word file if they're giving you.
It comes, I've done it before, it comes in a CSV.
Yeah, pretty standard to be CSV.
Okay.
How do I get just, like, I average about 30 or so new ones a day. Does it give me, can I just do I have to download everything again and it overwrites it, or what do you do?
I would hope that their CSV file would have some kind of a date field, date column that would tell you when it was added. And then I would just take those few records off the bottom. Now you could upload the whole thing again. AllProWebTools will accept that. And it won't create duplicate records as long as the email addresses match. If it sees the same email address, it just leaves it alone. But it's going to take a long time to upload all of that when really all you're trying to upload is 30 files. So I would probably try to cut the spreadsheet down and just do the 30 files.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure.
So now we've done this and it downloads. What do we do?
Then you upload it by going back to AllProWebTools, settings on the left-hand side, and then import, export. And then import contacts right there in the top left.
Okay. And then it'll ask for the file.
Yeah. And you'll want to look at these tags. You're definitely going to want to upload these tags with your own account manager so that somebody else doesn't take them.
Okay, so we go to, it says choose a file. Where does it take the big file? Where do we hit on next for that?
Click on choose file, Rex, at the bottom. So if you've downloaded the file to your desktop, then you would go find it on your desktop and you would choose it here, and then it would import it.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Sure.
Just a bit of street navigation.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, that, you know, that makes a lot, everything makes sense now. We can go ahead and use this, I think, pretty much so. Is there something we're not asking that you think we should be asking?
No, typically when I do a training, I try to keep it under an hour because even if there is more, it's hard to remember everything that you're learning. So I would highly recommend doing another touch-in demonstration maybe in 2 weeks. And while you're using the system, keep a list of questions, and then we'll just do a refresher course in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Speaking of that, is there some place to keep generic notes?
The recommendation is to keep them in the tasking system. Just task it to yourself and set it as a low priority, and it'll just be like a note down at the bottom of your task list.
Okay, what if we have, 30 of them? Just 30 different things?
Well, you create one task that says things to ask Dave, and then in that task, you can keep adding more and more to it as things come along, and it just keeps a big record of it, just like the workflow timeline.
Okay.
And then, of course, once you've asked all those questions, you can complete the task. All right, guys, thank you so much. Talk to you later.
Good to see you, bud.
You too,
All
buddy.
right.
Thank you, guys.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Thanks, Dave.
Sure.
Thanks, Rex and Jill, Dave. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.